What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building, and we got a great matchup, man, and a great breakdown coming for this video. We got Ciryl Gane versus Alexander Volkov, man. I love this fight, man. These guys are highly ranked guys in the division. Let's look at where they're ranked actually. But I'm pretty sure both these guys are top 5. But I mean, great matchup, man. I love it, man. This is gonna give a much needed kind of boost for Gane and a really good opportunity for Volkov to, honestly, for both of them to put themselves in title contention after, when they booked Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou, obviously. But yeah, man, I don't know why they won't show it to me. Yeah, Alexander Volkov is number 5. Ciryl Gane number 3. So Ciryl Gane is, man, he's highly ranked. But it's not a bad thing. I mean, I love the matchup. If we look at the stats though, Gane is 8-0, which is something to look at in terms of experience. He is fighting out of France, age 31. He last weighed in at 247. So that's going to be also an interesting thing here. And his height is 6'4" and has a reach of 83, which is also interesting. Volkov, on the other hand, has a record of 33-8. I mean, an experienced guy. Fought in Bellator. Also has a lot of experience. I think at ACB. If I'm tripping, he might have fought at ACB, or I might be just making it up. But I'm positive he fought there. Let me see. No. It was M1. It was M1. Hey, okay, all right, that's where. Yeah, it's M1. So the same thing, the same thing. But has a lot of experience, fought, obviously fights out of Russia, age 32, and last weighed in at 264. So I don't know how much Gane is gonna weigh in for this fight, but Volkov, I mean, you look at, like, he's gained a lot of weight and is a legitimate heavyweight now, and is not a skinny guy. Like, I look at Gane, and I kind of look at Gane at where, I look at him like basically where Volkov was like 3 years ago, where Volkov was kind of just using his pace and his pressure and his output to really break guys, like Verdum and stuff like that. Phenomenal performance right there. But we also got to look at the height. He has a height of 6'7", so he's a taller man. But the reach, he has a reach of 81, which is super interesting. Obviously, this is based on Tapology, and no disrespect to Tapology, but sometimes they get it wrong. I seen something and I called them out on it, but they fixed it. Kevin Lee, right? They said Kevin Lee had a 75-inch reach. I was also super positive he has a 77, so they kind of lied there. So you never know. Maybe, I don't know, man. Volkov's a big, tall guy, and I get it. Maybe Gane just has really long arms, but I don't know. I think Volkov has longer arms than that, but I'm just gonna assume that Tapology has it right today. But they've got some of these wrong, man. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. Also, let's talk about this. About the weight thing and the height and the reach. The weight advantage obviously has to go to Volkov. The height goes to Volkov, but the reach goes to Gane. But Gane is, I mean, the reach is going to get smaller and smaller, with his opponents, and or the reach disparity. That's what I mean. Is going to get smaller and smaller. He had a somewhat decent reach advantage over, I think, Rosenstrike, maybe like 4. I think Rosenstrike got 78. If I'm positive, I might be wrong, but I think it's 70. I think it's 78. But yeah, when he fought not Volkov, Jairzinho Rosenstrike. I'm sorry. Yeah, 78. Biggie boy, misspoke right there. But yeah, he had a 4-inch. Well, no, he had a 5-inch reach advantage over Biggie boy. But I mean, you seen it. The disparity is getting smaller right now. It's only a 2-inch. So I don't think Volkov is gonna have a hard time pressing him. Yeah, he might get clipped with a few jabs, and he's gonna have to eat some. He's gonna have to eat some to really pressure this kid. But it's a great matchup. But if we look at their notable wins, and we go to a guy like Ciryl Gane, man, Ciryl Gane made a splash really early in his in his UFC career. But I mean, dude, the guy had so many fucking canceled bouts. But first time I really saw him was when he fought Dontel Mays, and he got that heel hook finish, and he fought Rafael Paseo, and I watched that fight too. And he's just playing around with these guys, man. You could just see it. Gane has such a tactical style of striking, and I love Gane, y'all. Don't get it twisted. I picked him against Rosenstrike, and I picked him against you. Basically picked him all of his fights. But, like, man, like, the kid is just, he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. And he's just so talented everywhere. His Muay Thai is good. His grappling's good. I think he has some of the best grappling in the division when you really think about it. And the guys he's kind of out wrestling, right? And he's been looking really good. And the way he pressures guys and the way he uses his footwork, and he's very bouncy. So I mean, he's really good. He touches you and he'll take you down. He's a well-rounded fighter. Even though he doesn't have a lot of fights, he's very talented. The kid is something special. Then he fights Tanner Boser, right? So Tanner Bozo, I like to call him Bozo sometimes. Got that from Ed, by the way. I don't want to be a asshole, but like I was saying, in this fight, I mean, he looked amazing here. He just outclassed Tanner, man. And Tanner he's not a bum. I think he's a little entitled, but he's not a bad. He might be one of the better heavyweights out of Canada when I really think about it. He might. I don't know. Is there a lot of Canadian heavyweights that I'm missing? But yeah. But back to what I'm saying. He outclassed Tanner Boser, and I think that was a good win for him. It aged decently because Tanner was on a bit of a win streak. Because I think he knocked out Philip Lins, right? And then everyone was hyped up off him. Then he fights Junior Dos Santos, and obviously, I mean, you know me, guys. I'm one of the biggest Junior Dos Santos marks out there. I love Junior. I love Kane too. Don't get it twisted. I like AK. AKA. Don't come after me. Any AKA boys, don't come after me. I love Kane, but Junior is my boy, man. Junior is so dope, man. I remember watching that. It was on Fox. I remember Kane and Junior going at it back in the day. And I think that was the only fight they showed on Fox, which is crazy. And I told my pops, I was watching it with my pops one time, and I was really young back then. But I told him, I think he's gonna knock him out. I said Junior's gonna get it, and Junior caught him, and I was like, what? Oh my god! And then I kind of picked the trilogy all the way wrong. I ended up picking Junior for the whole trilogy, and I've always been a big Junior Dos Santos fan. I mean, he's just awesome. But yeah, I knew it was Junior's time, man, and it was pretty sad to see him go out the way he went out. It's his last fight in the UFC, by the way. And it was sad to see him complain about the elbow. He was just gonna get, no matter what, he was gonna lose a decision either way. He was getting outclassed, and I think if he would have lost a decision, it would have been better for his morale, and he would have accepted where he's at in his career. But the fact that he has, like, oh, I got hit in the back of the head, it kind of gives him more like, oh, I didn't really lose. And that's the problem with Junior. I feel like Junior's kind of telling himself that I'm getting caught and I'm not really getting beat, and it's like, but it is what it is. I don't want to talk too much about my boy JDS, but I mean, he looked amazing here. And then he fights Jairzinho Rozenstruik. And, I picked him to beat Jairzinho, and there was a lot of people that supported Jairzinho in this fight. And, I mean, it was kind of crazy how much backlash I got for picking Gane. But at the end of the day, Gane is really talented. But I don't think he really did much in this fight besides mentally breaking Jairzinho. I think he mentally broke him. But, like, I think Jairzinho was mentally broken before he even got in the octagon. I don't know what he was doing. It's hard to give Gane credit for this victory because it was like Jairzinho didn't do anything. He literally didn't do anything. He got beat in the grappling. He got out jabbed, and Ciryl Gane did his thing, and he beat him. And I have no problem with what Ciryl Gane does or did in this fight, and I don't have a problem with fighters being smart and winning fights. I've never, even like Titty Boy Adesanya, right? I never slandered him for that Yoel Romero performance. I never did. He did what he had to do. When you're fighting Yoel Romero, I would do the same fucking thing, right? But he lost. He still lost that fight though. But that's why Gane is. I got respect for Gane because he won that fight against Jairzinho. The other guy, he's whatever. But yeah, man. And that's where we lead off to is with Volkov. He beats Jairzinho, then gets the fight with Volkov. And, Gane is in a really interesting spot because does he win this fight and get the title shot? There's a real storyline with him and Francis Ngannou. You got the coach's dynamic, right? The coach spoke out against Francis, before the Stipe fight, and that really made me sway towards Stipe. Even though I ended up picking Francis to beat Stipe in the rematch, I almost picked Stipe. I almost did, and what really kind of kept me on Francis's side, because what the coach was saying was pretty bad, some bad stuff about Francis. But what kept me on Francis's side was his training camp videos for the fight, and the fact that he had that boy Alir Latifi with him. So that's what kept me on his side, and I was like, you know what? I think Francis is gonna get this done, and he got it done. So that the coach talked a lot of shit. He has there are videos of Francis and Ciryl Gane sparring, and this is a rivalry. This is a fight that could potentially happen. Obviously Gane has to beat Volkov, but it is what it is. But it's something that you could see happening. There will be a lot of heat going in there. Maybe not towards Gane and Francis, but there will be heat. Francis he'll be mad. So, and if Francis can get past Derek, I don't want to disrespect Derek too, but if we look at a guy like Volkov and what he's accomplished and his great resume in this company, and not only just this company, in Bellator too, man, this guy is, done his thing. Just in terms of notable wins, he does have that loss to Chet Congo. I don't like that, and Tony Johnson Jr. But he beat Bligo Ivanov, right, via rear naked choke. That's I think probably one of his better wins. And then in Bellator, and then going into the UFC, man, beats Tim Johnson, beats Roy Nelson, Stefan Struve, and Fabricio Verdum. This Volkov was a monster, man. He was a monster, but he was a small guy, though. He wasn't a big guy. If we go look at what he weighed, actually, he was 246. Again, like I said, he was like a younger version of Gane that he is right now, and that's how I look at him. And he was a smaller guy, and he used his output and he used his pace. But then he started fighting, guys like Derek Lewis, right? And he did great in this fight. But what really hurt him here it wasn't necessarily the power difference. It was really just the girth and the size difference. And Derek has power, don't get it twisted, but he swung his whole entire body into it. And Volkov went for a dumb teep, right? So close, and ate the overhand. But there was just so much size, and just a lot of size going into Volkov's chin, and he felt that. And I don't care who you are, you're gonna get hurt. And then he fights Greg Hardy, which was a lackluster performance, man. He took a year off, so it made sense. He had to rest. And then he fought Curtis Blades, and he let me down here. I really believed he could beat Curtis Blades. I thought he did great in the fourth. The fifth round, he did great. I thought he won the fourth. I don't think he won the fifth. Even though you hurt Curtis in the fifth with the teep, it was a little too late. He was very pillow. He got pillow hands, right? But he's a smaller guy. He never really grew into the weight class properly. And that's what really hurt him, in my humble opinion. But, when he fought Curtis, he had a good game plan, and he was so close to beating that guy. And he just kind of let that one get away from him. But then he comes back and fights Walt Harris, destroys Walt Harris in the second round, and destroys Alistair Overeem. But the difference between these two fights and his fight with Curtis is that he gained a lot of weight, and he put on the weight, and he got that back tattoo. And he looked good, and what he did to Overeem, oh my God, it was insane. He had him. It was bad, y'all. It was bad what he did to Overeem, and he sent him packing. Both guys, Gane and Volkov sent UFC's last two heavyweight cuts and releases packing. It's crazy. It's actually kind of fun. I just peeped that. But yeah, man. In terms of resumes, you got to go with Volkov. Volkov has more experience. He has the weight on his side. He has the height. and he doesn't have that small of a reach disadvantage against Gane. So it's not like he has like fucking T-Rex arms. He's going to be able to get in there, and he's going to go forward. He's not going to be like Jairzinho Rosenstrike. So in terms of who I think can win this, obviously Ciryl Gane should wrestle. I think he should mix it up. I think that's something he should try to challenge. That was something that Curtis had a lot of success with. I don't know if he's going to be able to challenge it, but he has good legs. He got good hips. I can see a double leg coming from him. So if he goes for that, I can see him winning using his jab, almost just winning a fight on points, basically. You know, mixing in the takedowns and getting real control. Because Volkov likes to, you know, stay on his back a lot. So that's something that Gane probably should do. But for Volkov, pressure. I think you got to put pressure on this guy. And you almost got to just bite on your mouthpiece, keep your chin tucked, and just go for it. I think if he puts it on him, I think he can take him out of there. I think he can get him out of there real quick. Gane, I don't think Gane has ever felt adversity in the UFC, and I don't know how he's going to be like when he does. And I think when he does feel that, I think he'll wilt under that pressure. And I got to go with Volkov. I think Volkov gets this done in the fourth round. I think it's a fourth round TKO. I think Gane is tough, and I think he'll last. But I think Volkov, with his experience in those, you know, in those rounds, I think he'll get him out of there. I really do. I think he gets him out of there in the fourth. I got to go with Alexander Volkov. I got to go with my boy. It hurts to go against Gane. It really does. But I think Alexander Volkov, it's crazy to go against him. And so many people, I think, are picking against him. If I look at Tapology, yeah, man, 64 with Gane. And it's like, y'all tripping, bruh. So I think I got to go Volkov. I got to go. You can't go against the GOAT. You can't go against Drago. I think this is your future heavyweight champion. I truly believe he can do it. But yeah, man, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I am going Volkov, fourth round TKO. Do not forget to follow me on my Instagram. Follow me on my Twitter. All those links will be down below in the description box. If you're new, you know, like, comment, subscribe, share this video, or go click the notification button. Let's get this eBay Fight Prediction Nation growing. Love y'all and goodbye. Hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown.